In this video, I'm going to discuss the healthiest habit that I have for my mental health, which is meditation. Hi, my name is Ivana, and on this video, I make lifestyle and personal development videos. In case you're not yet subscribed, you can do that quickly, but without further ado, let's get into actually like the 8 points that made meditation possible for me and that should be making it easier for you if you're trying to get started, but maybe struggling with it. A little bit about my background and how I got introduced into meditation. My mom actually started meditation when I was about like 7 or 8 years old. At that time, I really didn't understand what it was. And for years, even as a child, my mom tried to teach me meditation. I was initiated, I had mantras. I tried meditating as a child. I even went to a Maharishi school where the meditation started, actually the day started with a meditation. However, I don't think as a child I was able to appreciate it. Only after a burnout and after doing a yoga teacher training, I got completely converted, and now meditation is basically my healthiest mental health habit. I don't talk about meditation a lot because for me it's a personal process, but I do see a lot of people struggling with their mental health and not knowing how to process and cope with a lot of stress that came out of this pandemic. So I thought, you know what, let me just make this video about at least like 8 tips that made meditation easy for me in case you want to get started with it, or maybe are already started but maybe a little bit struggling with it. I hope the following 8 tips help you to develop it even more and maybe even make it a daily habit like it has been for me for the past 5 years. After I did a yoga teacher training where for 30 days I had to meditate twice a day for an hour, 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the afternoon for 30 days straight, I actually never stopped meditating again. So I did the yoga teacher training back in October 2015. It is now 2021, so almost 6 years I have been meditating at least an hour on a daily basis. Without further ado, let's get into the 8 tips. So my first tip and the biggest learning that I got from the yoga teacher training is that meditation actually is a lot easier if you do it in the morning, and also do it the first thing in the morning. In yoga theory, it is actually said that the time period between 3 and 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning is the best time for meditation because the world is at its most peaceful. Most people are sleeping, which means that the energies and thoughts that are being sent out into the world are way less. When you sit down to meditate during that time, it will just be a lot easier to become super peaceful. Now, do I do that? Of course not. I love to sleep in. I am not an early riser at all. Even though I do enjoy rising early, it has just never come easy to me. However, meditation for me is the first thing that I do in the morning, because when I try to do it in the evening or even in the afternoon, it's just so much harder. There's just so much energy that you feel around you that keeps disrupting your thought processes or just makes you feel a lot more, how do I say this, itchy? In the morning, it is just so much easier because the morning energy is a lot more peaceful. I know this sounds very woozy if you're not into this. If you do understand what I'm talking about, like energies of other people, and basically it's just physics. There are energies around us all day long. Those energies are the most peaceful in the morning. So whenever you wake up and do meditation the first thing in the morning, oh my gosh, I'm already rambling. See, this is the hard part about meditation. There are too many aspects to it and too many factors that go into it, but at the same time it is also so simple. I'll just try to keep it as concise as possible, but please bear with me. I'm just trying to explain it in the best way possible. Anyways, what I noticed is that when I do meditation first thing in the morning, first of all, it's a lot more peaceful. Second of all, the rest of my day, oh my gosh, it makes such a massive difference. It's so much easier for me to stay calm in difficult situations. It's so much easier for me to put stress in perspective, because that meditation in the morning is almost like taking a brain shower. But I'll get back to that later. So my first recommendation, if you have been struggling with meditating, is to do it first thing in the morning, and the earlier the better. The second thing that has made a massive difference for my meditation and actually made it so much easier, even though it's going to sound very counterintuitive, is to meditate for at least an hour. Yes, I know that sounds very long, but please hear me out. When I was a child, we were taught to meditate for maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes, maybe ramp it up to 20 minutes when you're a teenager or end of your teens. I find that so hard, and I'll tell you why. During yoga teacher training, we immediately from day one jumped into a 1-hour meditation. I honestly thought, how the hell am I going to survive this, because I can barely sit still for like 5 or 10 minutes. Here is the greatest revelation that I got. Meditating for an hour gives you really the time to first process all those superficial emotions, thoughts, things that are going on around you that you may not have the time to process during your regular daily life. What am I going to film for the A Day in My Life video? Oh wait, I'm supposed to focus. Sometimes this processing can easily take me 45 minutes, after which I will get my maybe even just 2 minutes of peace. But those 2 minutes of peace, oh my gosh, they are so worth it. Whenever I try to meditate for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, there's just no point. There are just too many events, thoughts, emotions that I first need to process, that I need to put into perspective. And only after I have done that, which sometimes just takes a lot of time, only after that the dust will settle and I will experience peace. Therefore, if you have been struggling with 5, 10, 20-minute meditations, try meditating for an hour. For me, it was really a massive eye-opener, and I have never stopped meditating for less than an hour after that. It has just made such a massive difference in my experience of life, because I also get that time to process my emotions and those events around me in my daily life. It just makes me so much more peaceful, and also enables me to experience peace in my meditation. Tip number 3 would be to meditate with a mantra. I'm quite sure you have already heard about mantras if you are a little bit into meditation. However, my biggest learning when working with mantras is that sometimes you need to switch up the mantras, because sometimes the mantra that you're using right now is just not fitting for the spiritual process that you're going through right now. If it's not fitting, it might actually agitate you more and cause you to be more restless instead of adding to your peace. The mantra that really helped me, and still until this day makes me feel really peaceful, is to constantly keep repeating, who is this I? Actually, I looked it up after all these years, and the mantra is who am I, from Sri Ramana Maharshi. It is the mantra that I was initiated in with my yoga teacher training. This mantra, for me, it just works miracles. Here's why. When you start meditating, a lot of thoughts, emotions, or maybe memories will pop up. However, all these thoughts, memories, and emotions are coming from the ego. And the moment you identify with the ego is the moment when you are actually kind of lost in the world, and you will have a difficult time experiencing the peace that you truly are. By repeating the mantra, who am I, you are constantly addressing the ego, because it is the ego who is the I. Every time you get a thought or a memory or an emotion and you repeat the mantra, who am I, for me, it kind of like, it instantly breaks that illusion that I am not my thoughts, I am not my emotions, I am not my memories, I'm not even this body. I am part of a whole universe that is not an I. That's why that mantra really worked for me, and it really transformed my meditations. At one point, I did notice that I got very agitated by this mantra. That's when I switched over to a very traditional generic mantra, Om. So I just kept repeating Om, Om while meditating, and in that time that actually brought me a lot of peace. And then when I noticed that Om wasn't really doing anything for me, I actually switched back to who am I. There are a lot of mantras out there that you can use, but I think it's super important when you are using a mantra to also notice how it is affecting you, because for me, just using a mantra that really fit my spiritual journey better than the mantras, for instance, that I was initiated with during childhood really made a difference for my meditation practice. Tip number 4, if you really are struggling with a meditation practice, is to use guided meditations. There are a lot of apps for this. I actually also got guided meditations during my yoga teacher training, so I really like them. I think the biggest downside with guided meditations is that you don't necessarily get to fully experience your own thoughts, memories, emotions, and get to, pop that bubble. I call it my garbage bag of all those unprocessed things. I feel that that kind of gets neglected whenever I'm using a guided meditation. However, in really turbulent times, or for instance, when I have trouble sleeping, I definitely feel a guided meditation is a godsend. I really like 2 guided meditations from ladies who really feel like my grandma. One is Marissa Peer on YouTube, and the other one is Louise Hay. She really feels like a grandma hugging me every time I'm listening to her guided meditations. In particular, if you have been struggling with a good sound sleep, I would definitely recommend listening to a guided meditation from these ladies before you go to sleep. And for me, it really calms me down. Tip number 5 is a very simple one actually, but you have to sit up straight because the life energy, the life force is coming from up. You cannot lay down if you really want to experience a good meditation. It really makes a huge difference if I am sitting up straight, if my spine is straight, if my crown is straight, pointing upwards, because then the life energy can flow more easily, and it is, for me personally, a lot more easier to experience peace. Tip number 6 that I also really learned during my yoga teacher training, but also got to experience a lot, is the impact of food on your mental, mental peace. With that, it will also impact your meditation and how easy or hard your meditation is going to be. The first thing that I can recommend to anybody who wants to experience more peace and less anger in their life is to stop all meat and fish, or basically all kinds of seafoods. The thing is, an animal is a living being. The moment it gets killed, whether that is a cow, a pig, or a fish who you may think doesn't have emotions, a lot of hormones are released which are connected to their emotions of anger and anxiety. Basically, you are literally consuming hormones of anger and anxiety, which that animal experienced right before it was killed, and obviously that is also going to impact your mental health. Food is the fuel for your body. It gets transformed into your own body, and basically those emotions, through those hormones, through that meat, become part of you. I didn't quit all animal products, but these are the animal products that cause the most suffering, so that is just the easiest way to banish suffering from your own body, by banishing food that has suffered. A couple of other foods that can really mess with your mental peace that I learned from yoga teacher training are tamasic foods, which will make you very sluggish, or rajasic foods, which will make you more anxious or more angry. The rajasic foods are really stimulants like ginger, coffee, chocolate, chili. Whenever I used to consume a very high cocoa content chocolate, especially right after my yoga teacher training, it was nuts. I had so much trouble sitting still during my meditation. My thoughts were raging all over the place, way more than usual. And if I just consumed chocolate with a lot less cocoa, so actually milk chocolate or white chocolate is a lot better for your mental peace than pure cocoa chocolate, I could instantly notice it. I felt a lot more peaceful. It was so much easier for me to just sit still, to let thoughts, drift by without paying too much attention to them or getting getting attached to them. Paying attention to your foods is definitely important if you want to experience more peace and make your meditation a lot more easy. Obviously, I love my spicy foods. I love my ginger. So I've kind of come back from a completely sattvic diet, which is very, very peaceful, and which is the food that you get to consume during a yoga teacher training. I've come back to like a mediocre, okay-ish balanced diet where I definitely love my ginger chai, but I also know that the next day in meditation I will have more trouble focusing and experiencing peace, and I kind of take that for granted. But it is something that you should definitely be aware of, and if you feel a lot more disturbed during meditation, maybe try eating a sattvic diet for a week and see the difference that it makes for your mental peace. Tip number 7, I already mentioned it in the beginning, is that meditation actually shouldn't really feel like a choice. For me, it is just as mandatory as brushing my teeth or taking a shower or, wearing clean clothes on a daily basis. If I don't meditate in the morning, it 100% has consequences throughout my day. I get irritated a lot more easily. I get stressed a lot more easily. I get angry a lot more easily. By now, and actually even after those 30 days of yoga teacher training, it's just non-negotiable anymore to not meditate in the morning because I know what kind of negative consequences it has. I would definitely recommend taking a perspective on it like this. It's just non-negotiable. Do you think about brushing your teeth in the morning? Probably not. Will you skip brushing your teeth in the morning? Maybe 3 times a year. Same goes for a shower. Like, how negotiable is a shower for you? How negotiable are clean, fresh clothes for you? Probably not that negotiable. That's something where I feel meditation is not really positioned in the right way in the world. Right now, it is more seen as a habit, as a mental health exercise, just like going to the gym and those kind of things. Whereas from my perspective, it really is just your mental health. For those of you wondering, well, how do you do that when you have to wake up early? Because when I used to travel, I regularly used to have flights at 5 a.m. in the morning, 6 a.m. in the morning. I start my shoots nowadays even at 8:30 in the morning. The reality is that I don't mind waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning to do my meditation. I don't mind waking up at 2 a.m. in the morning for doing my meditation. It's not an extension of my sleep, but it really sets the tone for my day. And I know if I skip that meditation because I want to catch a little bit more sleep, my day 100% will be definitely worse off than if I skip 1 hour of sleep and dedicate that to meditation. I will experience a lot more peace throughout my day with that 1 hour meditation compared to 1 hour of extra sleep. So I'm happy to actually sacrifice sleep for my meditation. It's not even a sacrifice, it's a gift for myself. Here, I'm also going to give you a little bit of tough love because the diplomatic thing would be to say that I fully understand that not everybody has an hour of extra time in the morning, but the truth and the reality is that you do. And it's a choice that you make. If you have children, I probably don't know what I'm talking about, but as somebody who has really traveled the world, who has plenty of 5 a.m., 6 a.m. wake-up calls in my life. I have shoots that start at 8:30 in the morning on a regular basis. I can tell you that you do have that extra hour in the morning. I just don't skip my meditation, the hour meditation in the morning, because I know what kind of positive impact it makes for the rest of my life. So yes, it is a choice. I'm sorry if I'm being very harsh here. Tip number 8 was something also that I learned during my yoga teacher training. Honestly, it was just transformational, so that's why I keep referring back to it. Let go of having to do it perfectly, if that makes sense, because there is no perfect meditation. The way your meditation is exactly the way it's supposed to be. If you can't quiet your thoughts, if you cannot calm down your emotions, if you keep having certain memories that pop up, then that is exactly what is supposed to be happening in the meditation. I remember having a very restless meditation during, I think, my first week of yoga teacher training. And it also happened after that, trust me. When I discussed it with my yoga teacher, he was like, why do you think there is a format for how meditation should be, or how, that you should put effort into a meditation? You just need to sit, you just need to repeat your mantra, and whatever happens after that is what is supposed to happen. And that was such a revelation for me, because we are so used to having a format for things and only one right option. That's how we're taught in school, right? There are only certain right answers to the questions in the test, and there is only one way to pass the test, and there is only one highest grade, right? But that's not really how the rest of the world works, and that's definitely not how meditation works. In meditation, very often you are presented with certain emotions that you have not processed yet, certain thoughts that you are having, which you need to take a look at first and need to process. You are presented with certain memories which are holding you back from reaching a state of peace. If you are constantly trying to push that away, you are making your, well, not just your meditation difficult, but you're also making your life very difficult. The moment you start to let go of having to do anything in meditation is the moment when it starts to become normal, and it really becomes a lot less charged with pressure and having to do things a certain way, and it becomes a lot more easier to process, you know, those train of thoughts or emotions or memories or those kind of things, and also to reach peace. I don't talk a lot about my meditation practice or about my yoga practice a lot, because it is really a personal journey for me and something that I really don't want other people's opinions on. So if you do have an opinion about my practice, I would kindly request you to just keep it to yourself. I just made this video because I've noticed a lot of people around me in my personal circle getting so stressed, just not knowing what to do with that stress, experiencing so many emotions, not knowing how to process those emotions. And these are just the tips and the advices that I would give to them. And because I care about a lot more people in the world, and you here watching this video, that's why I decided to make this video, not to hear other people's opinions on my practice. I do hope the video was helpful. Have you tried meditation before? Have you tried yoga before? What was your experience? That is something that I am interested in. I love to hear your experiences. Let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you know somebody who has been feeling very stressed or is struggling with their mental health, make sure to share this video with them. I hope it helps people feel a lot better and learn how to cope with their thoughts and their emotions in a more efficient way through meditation. It has really helped me a lot. If you enjoyed this video, you can also put a thumbs up, and of course you can subscribe to my channel and join 2100 other subscribers. It's free and you'll get a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you so much for now, and I will see you next time. Bye.